Welcome back, everyone. Happy New Year. How we doing? Well, it's January, guys. We've got just over 5 months until the big day. Okay, I don't think you guys are realizing that. We'll talk a little bit more about this after we have our scholarship conversation here for the few minutes, okay? So there's 2 parts to today's assembly, okay? The main part of the assembly is really to talk about the scholarship program, all right? Does everyone know Mr. Snow here? All right? Mr. Snow's here. He's one of our math teachers, and he does a lot with our scholarship program. Ms. McDonald, former social studies teacher here at the high school for over 40 years. How many? 42? 48. Oh, man. 48 years. A lot of years. All right? And she's been doing this for too many years to remember. But they are our scholarship gurus. They're going to kind of walk you through this process. This is very important. As you'll see, a lot of available money to our students here at the high school. Okay? All right, some of you are saying, well, I'm not going to college next year. That's fine. We have some other information in part 2 that's really geared towards us as seniors. Okay? So, again, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Snow at this point. All right, give him your attention. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Again, I'm the co-chair of the Scholarship Committee, and here to just kind of explain a few things to you about the application process so you can become part of the legacy at Upper Darby. We have the oldest scholarship program in the area. Started way back in 1922. This is our 101st year, just in case you didn't feel like doing the math. The very first scholarship was a Union Sunday School scholarship. It was for $400, which covered 2 years of school back then. Not going to get you very far today. Last year, as you can see, we gave $400,000 in scholarships to the class of 2022. So we think we can do the same for you guys. That was about 200 scholarships. The program's not really just about the money, though. It's more about being part of the community and the people that have given their hard-earned money to make those scholarships to help you move on in your life. There are things for everyone. If you're a science person, there's going to be science scholarships. There's going to be things in horticulture, things that are in history, math, engineering, you name it, we've got scholarships, and it's important that you read them very carefully so that you can choose ones that are going to fit the person that you are. And that's kind of the game we play. Things that we need, I'm just going to go through these bullet points real quick, and then, like I said, there's something for everyone. It is due January 26th at 3 p.m., no exceptions. And I'm going to show you, we're going to do this all online, so it'll be very simple for you to do. Senior Awards Night is when the winners are announced, and that is the 1st of June this year. So that's when we're going to talk about that. The committee is made up of about 9 people, which I'll talk about them in a second. And we get together once a week for about 6, 8, 9 weeks and figure out who we feel would be best for each and every scholarship, all 200 scholarships. With the application, we're going to go over that in a second, and we also need some information about your tax return, your parents' tax returns, the 2021 adjusted gross income. Like I said, there are many scholarships. I'm going to show you the list in a second, how to get to it and where to go. It's not all about the money. It's an honor to receive one of these. Like I said, goes back to 1922. And if you need to get a hold of Ms. McDonald, the chair, there is her email address. You guys will have a copy of this posted, so you'll be able to see it. And, of course, you can talk to me as well. So this is what you're going to see, the scholarship application. It's going to ask you to create a copy. You'll be able to read this yourself. What you're going to need to do is upload a photograph. And here's the actual form. And what you're going to do is, when you make a copy of this, you're going to open it up, and then you can use whatever annotation software you want. We all should have Cami, and you can open it in Cami, and then once you do that, you can just use text boxes, and you can fill out all this information. And the information is pretty simple. It's name, all that information, and then on the left, it's where you went to school each year, like elementary school, middle school, high school, so on. And then, where have you been accepted anywhere? So we'd like to know where you might be going to college, what your choices are, what your major is going to be. And then down bottom is where you're going to fill in which scholarships you would like to be on the list for. Okay, so that's the first page. And then on the back of that page, we're talking about what have you done for the community, for Upper Darby High School, for the area. So it's what service and things, accolades. This is where all that information is going to go. Try to please give us as much information as you can. It's very important that we have lots of information while we're doing this. Like how many years, like if it says sports and you played football, don't just write football. Because if you only played JV football for 5 minutes freshman year, that's different than somebody who played all 4 years. So we need to know a lot of information. So make sure you're clear with all that stuff, please. We need years. And if stuff that you did in the community, in your church, anything like that, that goes towards the bottom here, and then additional comments. If you need to, in an annotating software, you can also add pages, and if you were for some reason had to add additional resume, you can do that as well. Just make sure you connect it with this guy when you're done. This is financial need. You'll make a copy of this one as well. And again, you just need to fill in the blanks. It's a nice short form, and get that to us with your parents' information. It's just really important. The deal is that we break down all the scholarships, or they're broken down into 3 categories. Your rank, so where you sit with all the rest of the students, need, and service to the school and community. So if you don't do the financial part of this and you just skip it, then we might not be able to give you a need-based scholarship because of that. We need to know that there's need. So that's why we need this information. It's not going to go anywhere. We really just need that adjusted gross number of how much the household made that year, if that makes any sense. When you see the form, I think it'll make plenty of sense. If you have questions, again, you just have to ask. So there's that form, and then lastly, I'm not going to go through this. It's very long, but this is the list of the scholarships, and there's short little blurbs about the name of the scholarship, where it comes from a little bit, maybe a little history, and is it need-based, is it rank-based, stuff like that is usually in part of it. So the first one at the top is the Mendenhall Tyson Scholarship, and that is a $32,000 scholarship. So that's the one that's worth the most money, I guess, and then there's other ones that goes all the way down to $500. So that's where we get our $400,000 when we add them all up. But as I said, there's 200 of these. You can go through the list. Your job is to go through the list, read every one of them. Don't just pick one and say, I want that one, and just put that number down. Read every one of them. And also, don't be that guy that, says that puts them all down. And, some of these are just for girls, and some are just for boys, just the way they've been written. So please read them carefully. All right? So that is the stuff that you're going to have to fill out. And once you get that all filled out, you're going to go to this thing. It's the QR code. If you scan that, you can take a look at it if you want. Right now, it's just taking you to a Google form, and this is where you're going to submit all of your work. Okay? So it's submitted. It's going to be time-stamped. You're going to submit the application. You're going to submit a photo. You're going to submit your financial information. Okay? They're the 3 things we must have. Deadline was the 26th, 3 o'clock. And what's going to happen is on the 26th at 3 o'clock, we're going to close that Google form. You won't be able to submit it. You won't be able to even find it. It'll be gone. Okay? So by 3 o'clock that day, you must have your stuff submitted. or you will not be eligible for a scholarship. And again, the committee itself is made up of your center, Mr. Peterkin, and the counselors, and then it's Ms. McDonald, myself, Ms. Alderossi, Ms. Diamond. So we try and get somebody from each of the major contents. And gentlemen for English. That's everybody, right? Yeah. All right. Well, if there are no more questions, remember the deadline is the 26th at 3 o'clock. And now I'm going to give it back to Mr. Peterkin.
Okay, I really hope everyone's paying attention. I know some of us are kind of looking at this going, this isn't for me, I'm not interested, all right, as Mr. Snow said, all right. Even if you're going to Delaware County Community College, there are scholarships specifically for Delaware County Community College, okay? If you're the first person going to college in your family, there are scholarships for that, okay? This is free money. All right, and I know some people are like, $500? Hey, $500 is some of your books, or most of your books, hopefully for a semester. So every little bit counts. Every little bit counts, okay? As we said, this is an incredible tradition here in the Upper Darby School District, over 100 years, okay? I think it was closer to almost $500,000 that they anticipate giving out this year, or awarding this year to our graduating class, which is phenomenal. Okay, so I think every person in here, right, if you're going to some kind of post-secondary school, take some time, read through these, okay? There actually aren't 200 different scholarships because if you look at it, there's like about 120, but then there are some that say there are 5 of these given or 3 of these given, right? And so when you add it all up, the total ends up being about 200 different scholarships or 200 total scholarships awarded. You can apply for as many as you want, but there are some that are very specific in the sense of, you know, they are for female, maybe an athlete, or a male athlete, okay? Or there are some that are specific to people who've been in marching band or some kind of, you know, in our musicals and things like that. So you have to look and read the description for each of those, okay? So take a minute and read those. But you can apply for as many as you want that are outside of that. All right, as Mr. Snow also said, some of them are need-based, meaning we're looking to see what is your need, what is your family's situation as far as financial situation, right? So if we don't get that second document returned, okay, you're kind of already kind of eliminated from all of those need-based scholarships. So make sure that you're following through on all of that, okay? And as someone said, I'm going to share all this out. We are recording this, as I said. I'll be sharing out the recording. I'll be sharing out this presentation, so all these links will be there. I'll share out the actual link for where you're going to go to submit, okay? You could start submitting these today, right? It's probably going to take you a little more time. I don't know that we're going to have any submissions today unless we're overachievers and maybe we're ready to go, but you can start submitting these today, okay? Okay, so you're going to fill out the application one time. All right, and there's a spot at the bottom of that application for as many of those different scholarships that you want to apply for. So if there are 30 scholarships you want to apply for, you're going to write in the number for all of those. Each of those scholarships has a number next to it. Okay? So yeah, you're only filling out the form one time, each of those 2 forms. Okay?
If you win a scholarship, you actually do not hold on to the money or a check. We take what you have won, and we send that to the college of your choice. So we will, if you win on awards night, inside the white envelope that has your certificate will also have where you're going to school. And we will hound you for that information. You'll only have a few days to give that to us. So that's how it goes, okay?
And one last thing, even if you apply for 15 scholarships, okay, each individual is only awarded 1 scholarship, right? So once the committee has selected you for a scholarship, you're not able to be selected for any others. But again, there are over 200 scholarships, a lot of opportunity.
Athletes. A lot of these scholarships apply to certain sports and certain amounts of time. I really, really would like you to please do me a favor. Take a look and leaf through them. You run track, you wrestled, you played football. We've had free money sitting on the table for athletes. Not every single athletic scholarship is tied to a perfect GPA. I want you to know that if you're an athlete, there's money here for you to help you pay for college. Some of it's 1 year, some of it's multiple years. Please look through this. Don't waste your time thinking that, oh, I won't get any scholarships. I don't have a 4.0 GPA. Some of these are athletic-based scholarships, the same way a college would give you an offer. We at Upper Darby are collecting money and giving you somewhat of an offer. But you have to do the work on your end. I can't do it for you. If you want to come sit down in my office, hey, Mr. Bennett, what scholarship is it? We'll open up the sheet together. We'll go right to the number. We'll look at the title. I'll help you fill it out. But I need to make sure you're willing to do that. Again, I know for a fact there's cross-country, wrestling, football, soccer. There is scholarships for almost every single sport. Look it up, please.
All right. So now let's move on to part 2 of our assembly today, and that is getting to June 12th. Okay, we're just about halfway there. Okay, we only got a few weeks left, but we got a lot of work to do, and especially the second half of the year, it gets even busier than the first half. So as we march closer to the end of the year, right, a lot of what you've heard, and a lot of what you've done this year, right, falls on your shoulders. College application process, okay, scholarship process. As Mr. Bennett said, we can't do it for you. We can give you all the tools, we can send you all the resources, but it falls to you, okay? You are young adults. In just, 5 months, you'll be, hopefully, most of you, graduating and moving on to college, career, military, whatever it is, right? You have to take the responsibility for these things. No longer is it your parents, your guardians, whoever it is. No longer is it your teachers, your counselors, myself. We're here to help. We are a resource, but we can't do it for you, okay? Ask the questions. Come seek us out. Send us the emails. We'll help you. We'll point you in the right direction. If we don't know an answer, we'll find an answer. As I said, I didn't even know the answer. Ms. McDonald was here. She was able to answer that for us. But if there's something we don't know, we'll get an answer for you, okay? To me, this is the most important thing after the scholarship money that's available to you. This is the most important thing for everyone sitting here. Because this is what's going to hold some of you back from graduating on June 12th. Okay, and some of that stuff at the bottom, isn't necessarily going to hold you back. 21 credits, no brainer. State of Pennsylvania says you have to have a minimum of 21 credits. A lot of you are beyond that 21 credits. You're already kind of putting a check mark next to that going, yep, I'm done. Some of you might be getting wrapped up this semester with your 21 credits. Maybe you're finalizing that last English class. You're finalizing that last elective or that last math class, whatever it is. Maybe some of you are looking at it saying, you know what? This has been tough. I'm done, right? That's a consideration you have to make, and if you have the flexibility in your schedule and you want to be an early grad and you've met all of your graduation requirements, we can look at that for you, okay? But you have to talk to your counselor. And speaking of which, I know we've been down a counselor for, almost 2 months now. We do have a new counselor that is going to start with you second semester, okay? So new counselor will be starting in just a few weeks. I appreciate your patience. It's been a long semester for our counselors in the center. Other counselors have been pitching in to help us, and we're so appreciative of their help. But I know it's been hard on you guys as well. But again, 21 credits. If you've hit the 21 credit minimum, right, and it can't just be 21 credits. It has to be the right 21 credits. You need a certain number of math and all those things, and you should know that by now, right? But if you're considering and you want to think about whether you qualify for early grad, send us an email, okay? You can email your counselors. If you're a Ms. Freeman student, you can email me. Second piece, I know Mr. Bennett just ran out of here, Act 158. I know he was the Act 158 crazy man last year, chasing people down, all right? Well, that's turned to me at this point. I think I have about 142 seniors, maybe a few of you still sitting out here, who haven't finished this yet. And if you're wondering if it's you, check your emails from me. I send out probably a weekly or bi-weekly email to those students that have not yet completed their Act 158. Okay? It is 15 videos that you have to watch. All right? At this point, I've called people down. I've sent passes for people. Like, you need to reach out to me and ask, how do I get this done? Okay? Because come June 12th, if you have your 21 credits, but you don't have your Act 158 done, you're not walking at Temple. Actually, rewind that a little bit. Okay? The week before, if you want to go to senior prom, you're not going to senior prom if this isn't done. Okay? So there are going to be some things that we will withhold from our seniors until this is met. We want to see you graduate. I don't want to see 15 videos stand in the way, because as I look around, I see people sitting on their phones right now probably watching videos. So you can't tell me you don't know how to watch 15 videos. Okay? I've got 3 children at home. They're on their devices all the time as well. They know how to watch videos. That's something you guys do well. This next one, work-based learning. Every person in here, every individual senior has to complete this. I'll say it again. Maybe I'll get your attention. Every single senior has to complete work-based learning. This is a little bit separate, all right, from the Act 158, but just to show you where it is. So when you log into Vector, this is what you should see. If you're done Act 158, you don't have to worry about this. But if you aren't done 158, you log in, you complete your videos. Every senior has to complete work-based learning. You go to the same system, you log in, but instead of clicking Act 158, you come down here to View Library, you click on that. You come down here to Good Decision Making, you click on that, and there are 5 videos you have to watch. They're about, 5 to 7 minutes each, a couple questions at the end of each. Takes you about 45 minutes or less. Every senior has to complete this. All right? I've sent it out previously, and I will be pushing it out again on email, on Schoology. You have to complete this. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have you start to, I believe this is the one. Yep. This will be it. So if you've completed it, you're going to have to show me that you've completed it. At the end of each video, there's a certificate. How many people have done some of these work-based learning? Good. Okay, so a lot of people have already done these. Great. There should be a certificate every time you finish one of those 5 videos. And what you're going to do is you're going to take a screenshot of that certificate. You're going to save it as a PDF, and I'm going to send you another Google form that you're going to go to, and you're going to just update your information. All right, so don't worry about this. I will send everything out to you in the next week. Okay? Questions on 158? I saw a hand over here. Don't make your own Google form, because it's going to be easier for me, because I can pull all the data. What I want is I want your ID number, I want your name, because then I can cross-reference against the class list and go, who hasn't finished this yet? Okay? All right, let me go back to the slideshow. So again, 21 credits needed. Act 158, the vast majority of you are done that. Work-based learning. I don't think the vast majority are done this, but I know a lot of people have been working on that. Okay? Diploma name verification. I've sent out a mail merge multiple times over the last probably month. Okay? At this point, I'm only sending it out to people who haven't answered me yet. I need to know what is going on your diploma by the end of the first semester. If I don't hear from you, then what's going on in the diploma is what I see in eSchool. Right? So if you're in eSchool and it just says, like my full name would be Joshua David Peterkin. If all I want on and maybe in eSchool it just says Joshua Peterkin. But if I want on my diploma Joshua David Peterkin, or maybe Joshua D. Peterkin, okay, that's not what's going to be on there unless you tell me in the diploma name verification email that I've sent you. Just a quick show of hands. How many people have seen the diploma name verification that's been sent out? Okay, plenty of hands are up, which means I've sent it out. It's out there. Okay, again, a lot of you need to go back and check those emails. Okay, so again, you have till the end of the marking period. All right, January 20th. Post-secondary plan survey. I have not sent this out yet. I will be starting to send this out probably either this week or next week. Basically, this is just a form that the state asks us to collect information from our seniors on. What are you doing after high school? Are you going to a 4-year college? Are you going to a 2-year college? Are you taking a gap year? Are you going into the military? Are you going to a trade school? Are you going into the workforce? What are you doing? Okay? So some of you might know at this point. Some of you might have your acceptances. Maybe you've settled on a school, and some of you are still waiting on those. Okay? So you can tell us that information. Caps and gowns. Okay, so again, this isn't going to hold you back from graduation unless if you don't have a cap and gown, you're not walking in graduation. Okay? Everyone's going to look the same. We're all going to be wearing our purple, or, actually it's not even purple. What is it? It's, I forget what the color is. All right? It's purple enough for me. And then your stole. Okay, so a lot of people have been emailing me saying, hey, my older sibling graduated in the last few years. I want to use theirs. Well, make sure you're about the same height as your sibling. All right, because the gowns are supposed to come a certain distance. So if you're a lot taller or shorter than your sibling, that gown might not fit correctly. Okay? You're also wearing a stole. We changed the stoles starting with the class of 2019. So if your sibling graduated before the class of 2019, it's a different stole. For our NHS students, you're getting a different stole as well, but we'll work on that. We'll have that number. Yours will get exchanged out. So you're just going to order the package, and then we'll exchange your stole out and give you the other one. Okay? When I looked this morning, only about 150 people have ordered caps and gowns at this time. Guys, I know we have almost 1,000. We have over 1,000 people hopefully graduating. So I'm hoping more than 150 are planning on walking in graduation, because usually we have about 800 to 900 walking in graduation. All right? Now, some of you might say, well, I went on the site and I think it's done. Well, if you don't have a confirmation email sent to you, you didn't finish. It might be sitting there incomplete. Okay, so take a look at that as well. All right, the last one, this is more for our counselors. All right? We want to do the best we can to pronounce your name correctly when you're coming up to receive your diploma. So there is, again, an email link that I've sent out to you repeatedly, asking you to just go on and write out your name, all right, phonetically. All right? Some names are easier to pronounce than others. We understand that. There's also a little link there you can jump on. You can record yourself saying your name, save it, attach the file so that your counselor can hear that name. Okay? So again, we want to do our best we can in pronouncing these names. It's important. You've worked hard. We want to honor that. All right. So when I send out this presentation, all of this will be there. So that work-based learning QR code really just gives you the information I already showed you. It shows you how to get onto Vector, and it shows you where to kind of click through in the library and other places to get to those other videos. Okay, I already said this. The diploma name verification by Friday, January 20th, and the post-secondary plan, I'll be sending that out very soon. All right, a few other quick things. Here's kind of the docket for the rest of the year. You got winter formal coming up in about 3.5 weeks. Okay, so tickets, I believe, go on sale end of this week or next week. All right, I know Miss Bianchi just sent out a Schoology post about it today. All right, you need to have the right number of Royal points. You need at least 85 Royal points. Okay, and you need to have the permission slip signed by your parent. Okay, if you're bringing a guest who is not a senior at Upper Darby High School, so if they're in any other grade at Upper Darby High School, or if they attend a different school, they have to have this completed. Okay? Top Royal coming up in March. All right, UD's Got Talent. So Top Royal used to be Mr. Upper Darby. Now it's called Top Royal. UD's Got Talent. Post-Secondary Pride Day. That's an opportunity for us to celebrate all of the seniors and the places that you have, committed to go to next year. All right, so we have an opportunity to, have you come down, get your photo taken with maybe, the school that you're attending. if we have the emblem and things like that, but it is really just an opportunity to celebrate you and that accomplishment. Senior Appreciation Day on May 25th. Okay, this will be as we're getting, really, really close to the end of the year. All right, it's a day where we do, a barbecue outside. We play some games. Our student, leadership is planning some different things for that. I know last year's class did a lip dub that they did. Not sure if that's on the agenda this year or not. I'm seeing a shaking of head yes. So maybe that's something we're doing again this year. So a lot of fun things we do on that day. That's literally the Thursday right before Memorial Day weekend. And then when you come back from Memorial Day weekend, you're almost into finals. And after finals, it's basically time to graduate. So again, as you see these dates, okay, there's a lot that stacks up here at the end of the year. And I know we've been talking for a long time. I appreciate your attendance. We are almost done. All right, as Mr. Snow said earlier, June 1st, Senior Awards Night, and our scholarships are awarded that evening, okay? Senior Prom on June 3rd. Let me stop and park here for just a second, okay? We had an awesome time last year at Senior Prom. We're looking for another great year this year at Senior Prom. But you got to have your Royal Points to attend. You have to have completed your Act 158 to attend. Now, some of you are looking and saying, I don't have any Royal Points, or I have very few Royal Points. That's a problem. There are ways to get back your Royal Points, but first of all, it starts with coming in and talking to Mr. Gentile or myself, getting a Royal Recovery sheet, attending all of your classes on time, and getting your teacher to sign off that you've attended on time and that you've given a good effort. And then you turn that in. And every time you turn in a Royal Recovery sheet, you get 5 points back. Okay? Let me stay here for just a second longer because seniors probably have more Royal Points. Don't let the secret out. Probably have a few more Royal Points than they should because we haven't had an opportunity to take all of the lates. So students, when you are late 5 times, if you look in your code of character, if you're late 5 times to school, unexcused late, you lose 2 Royal Points. If you're late 5 more times, you lose 2 more Royal Points. If you're late 5 more times, you lose 2 more Royal Points. Now you're down to 6. If you're late 5 more times, this would be your 20th late, by the way, for the semester. If you're late 5 more times, it's now a Saturday school, and you lose 3 points. And if you're late 5 more times again, it's another Saturday school, and you lose 3 more points. Do you catch the drift here? Being late to school, being late to work has consequences. We did not have an opportunity to really necessarily dig in on all the points that were lost the first semester. You got some grace. Second semester, that will not be the case. If you are late second semester, you will be losing Royal Points. I had seniors at the end of the year last year in tears because they couldn't go to prom because they had been late to school numerous times. Guys, the day doesn't start till 9:45. For many of you, you're probably not even coming in until second or third block. There's no reason for our seniors to be late. On a rare occasion, something might be going wrong. You might be running a few minutes late. I get that. Rare occasions happen. Okay, but too many of our seniors are repeatedly late. Okay, we need to clean that up for the second half of the year. All right, you got about a minute or two, and then I will start dismissing you. I do appreciate your attentiveness. What's the date that these scholarships are due? January 26th.